Welcome to the Inside Out Show. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sandra Eze, and my live audience, thank you for being part of today's show. And Charles, how are you, Charles?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You have this like look
Geeky,
around
intelligent
you.
look, right?
No, well, you look intelligent. You're intelligent as always, but
Yes,
you look
right.
like have the weight of the world on you.
Okay.
Are you okay?
I'm all right. I'm fine.
Really?
I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. So today on the show we are discussing jungle justice, and it's shocking that Nigeria is among the top countries who still practice jungle justice. Now, during the show, on the course of the show, we'll be explaining to you what jungle justice is. We have the experts here, we have human rights, we have the police here who will do all that job of explaining to us and letting us know much more on what is jungle justice, why is it prevalent, why do we still practice such criminal activity in this country in this 21st century. And of course, we're going to get comments from our audience. And we also have a victim here on the show. We'll be discussing that and much more after this break. Don't forget, this is the Inside Out Show. See you after the break.
All those ones that they kill for no reasons. They'll tell you they saw or is a thief or something without evidence, and they do things like that. They're not supposed to.
I'm totally against it, because most times you don't have the full story, and if you dig a bit deeper, you might realize you are wrong or the person was not guilty.
It's not a right thing to take laws into your hands.
Basically, I think it's a reflection of a complete disorder in society and lack of faith in the system.
I don't see it as a proper something. I don't see it as something good. Because no matter what it is, we just have to obey the laws of the country.
That's why we have police or something. So they shouldn't do that.
I'd rather let the law take its course by investigating the case and knowing exactly what happened, and allowing the law prescribe a punishment for what they feel was done.
If someone offends you or what, you either sue the person to court and hear from the judge's mouth first before taking action.
Unfortunately, this is getting more rampant in the country because also the entire society is also highly charged by a lot of problems. You know, most of it caused by the inability of the government to actually take full control of the country.
No matter the situation or whatever will have warranted it doesn't still give you the best excuse, or how will I say, is it the best excuse or the best privilege for you to take laws into their hands? So whoever that does that has to be punished severely.
If they catch one, for example, and they use that one for a scapegoat, and made them know that thing they did by taking laws into their hand is wrong, I think other people will learn from that.
Welcome back. This is the Inside Out Show, and today we are discussing jungle justice. Why is it prevalent? Why is this even a topic for discussion at this time and at this era? Yes, we know Nigeria is not the only country that practices this criminal act, but is also one of the top 10 countries that practice jungle justice. Why is that? And today on the show, I have security expert, I have the police with me, I have a human rights activist, and I also have a victim to help us further break down this topic and understand why we're even discussing it in the first place, starting with the Assistant Commander of Nigerian Police Force Area B, in other words, ACP Olamiti Soji Akinbamilayo. Thank you for being on the show. And up next, I have Barrister Liborous Oshoma, who is a human rights activist and social commentator. Thank you for being on the show. And finally, I have Damilare Dynamite, who is you're an artist and founder of Project Candlelight, and also a victim, I understand. Okay, so let me start with you, ACP. What is jungle justice?
Jungle justice is a situation where somebody raise an alarm, could be false or real, where people get somebody and alleged the person of committing a crime, and they decided to be the judge, the prosecutor, and the one that will pass do
judgment.
justice on the judgment passed by the judge. And this is instantaneous, where you have the victim is not given a fair hearing, is not allowed to say anything to defend himself. And this is a big problem in Nigeria now, because it is getting to a situation where innocent citizens are being beaten up, some are killed in the process, while some survive to tell the story. But most of the people that does this seems not to know that they are infringing on the right of the victim. Because the constitution of this country gave everybody right to live and a right to fair hearing. Even if a case is reported against a person, the constitution of this country and the law of the Federation of Nigeria on criminal administration of justice presume the person to be innocent until there's an investigation carried out by the law enforcement agencies. Then you will take the person to the court, who are the determinants of guilt or not guilty. If the guilt is passed, there will be somebody to carry out the issue of conviction. But in this instance where we talk about jungle justice, a mob gathered together, and there's a judge there, there's a prosecutor, and there's somebody to pass the judgment. The next thing they do is
So, Mr. Oshoma, would you like to add to that?
Yeah. Jungle justice, as the name implies, justice as practiced in the jungle, not in civilized crime. In civilized crimes, the laws prevail, the rule. But what happens is, like the ACP has explained, in the jungle there are no rules. And you hear some people say no paddyman for jungle. And so judgment instata is passed, executed without hearing, right? Without the benefit of what we call, hearing the other side. Because there are twin pillars of natural justice. What do you call, in Latin maxims, nemo judes in cassasua, audiotarem patem. Meaning, no man shall be a judge in his own cause, and you must hear the other side. Okay. So, but in the case of jungle justice, in most cases, most times, the victims are not heard. And you have various categories, types. If you've never been, we are all victims of jungle justice in Nigeria. It's either you have seen and you are onlooker, you took photographs and posted on social media, or you participated, or you were actually the one that was, the jungle justice is being melted
the victim.
Upon. In some cases, do you know that when you forcefully resort to self-help to evict tenants, you're resorting also to jungle justice. In cases, really? Yes, when you do trial by ordeal, you say somebody died, and what we call trial by ordeal, somebody died, and you bring the wife, you wash the dead body, and say, come and prove your innocence. That's jungle justice, because that's not what prevail in sane societies. And so you have them various categories, and in some cases we fold our hands and we watch. And maybe in the course of the program I would break down why this issue is prevalent in our society. We are all guilty of it.
I'm definitely getting to that part, why it's prevalent in the society. But Damilare Dynamite, you are a victim of jungle justice, I understand. Would you like to share your story with us briefly?
First of all, I would like to say I see myself as a victor, not a victim.
Victor, okay, that's fine.
Because the most important thing is like doing something positive about something negative. What happened? It happened last year, July. I was coming back from work. I used to work on the island. I was coming from Lekki to Lakoe. So I got down at the Aja roundabout. I was about to get another bus home. Then suddenly someone came and accused me of stealing their phone. it was funny then because the phone they were accusing me of stealing was like lesser to the phone I had in my pocket. But I was trying to like tell these guys that what is happening here, I don't understand. I keep telling people English can't save anybody in Lagos. I thought I can give them all the phone, and these people started beating me up, serious hitting and everything. It took like the intervention of men of the Nigerian police force. A patrol team was going, then somebody came and crossed across the road to ask for help, and they saved me. So that's just the long story short.
Okay, so after that incident, how did that make you feel?
It was something I wouldn't wish anyone to go through, because it takes a second for your life to just turn around. From everything being normal to everyone wants to kill you for no reason. Like they said earlier, everyone deserves a fair hearing. You need to be able to state your own stand to prove your innocence. They always say something that he is not a convict until proven guilty or something. You need to give people a fair hearing. And everybody started beating me because for some reason, they thought they were in the right. And it was me against a mob. So you need to understand that feeling, what I went through. And the thing is, after that ordeal, I had like post-traumatic stress disorder. Like if I was standing close to you and any sudden movement from anybody, I will hit you.
Wow.
Because I was just too much on the edge.
You felt like someone was about to attack you again.
Everybody wanted to kill me after that period.
Wow.
To me, yeah, so it is something you wouldn't wish anyone to go through. It is hell, it is horror. Life, when everybody wants to kill you for no reason. You don't know what you did, but you are the person.
Okay.
Coming up next on the show.
Like overseas, they say there's something they call citizens arrest, where the citizens actually do something about somebody that has committed a crime.
I can also show you on the internet situations where you see policemen in other states with native Babariga with a gun. How do you differentiate such a man from,
The IG is addressing that. Any policeman seen dressed in that form is being arrested. You cannot go scot-free for that.
So back to your question, I was going to ask you the question, Mr. Oshoma. Why is this prevalent in the society?
Yeah,
Why are we still discussing this?
We live in a jungle.
How?
Yeah. A lot of things that happen in our society do not happen in saner societies. You find out that, one, you have infrastructural deficits. We are under-policed. Even our police, in the case where we have police, they are not properly equipped.
Hold on a second. ACP, would you agree that we are under-policed?
Yeah, we're under
We
police.
are?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, please go on.
When we have, they are not properly equipped to meet the demands and the yearnings. And then...
Hold on a second again, please. Are we under-equipped? Are the police under-equipped?
Yeah.
They are? Okay, please go on.
And then also, where we say the windmill of justice grinds slowly, but surely. But we forget also that justice delayed is justice denied. And when you delay justice, it's like the people forget that, oh, look, nothing will happen. And so at the end of the day, with also the lack of infrastructure that you have in the society and the hunger, the prevalence of hunger, the people take out their frustration on their next door neighbor. And so sometimes what do you see? And then illiteracy is a big problem also in the jungle. And so people don't want to hear. And situations where in some cases you hear people say, don't worry, if you take him to the law now, nothing will come out of it. And so they would want to, serve justice. In some cases too, police also have been accused of meting out jungle justice. Yes, to their victims. If you pick your Google now, Google allegations of victims that have died in police custody. So many. And then there are no explanations. In some cases, you hear the police says, oh, look, this person was not in our custody. In other cases, the family will say, look, this man was arrested. How about the very popular one I can remember, the one that happened in Abuja, the traders that were arrested and executed summarily by some members of the police in Abuja. But that's a topic for another day, But generally speaking, we have a society where government needs to be up and doing, and we as citizens, we need to take it upon ourselves as responsibilities to educate those that are not educated. And as lawyers also. And as lawyers also, we should, the responsibility is on us as ministers in the temple of justice to ensure that justice is served, even if the heavens will fall. Like they say, justicia fiat raud colum. But you find out.
Could you please explain that? When you use all those laws,
I just said it. Let justice be done if even the heavens will fall.
Yeah. Well, in your own case, you were innocent, which doesn't even make it right at all. But then there are also other people who are guilty of what they have been, what they have been accused.
What I would say is, like overseas, they say there's something they call citizens arrest, where the citizens actually do something about somebody that has committed a crime. You can, I don't know if you can forcibly hold the person down, but the people can do something about it. Okay, this guy did something. Hold him till the law enforcement people come around. Then let them go through the process of prosecution and conviction on anything. You don't just accuse someone and pass the judgment immediately. It is not right. There is no right way about it.
Okay. ACP, before I ask you a question, would you like to comment on what he has said?
I don't think we're in a jungle.
You don't think we're in the jungle? Why don't you think so?
There's law and order.
Complete law and order, or to a certain extent?
To a certain extent, because if you want to say complete, which means you are still saying there's no crime committed, no jungle justice. But what I'm saying is this. If you say we're in a jungle, you don't bring issue of infrastructural development into issue of jungle justice. Issue of corruption is not jungle justice. Because when you talk about jungle justice, we are addressing a situation where an individual is being mobbed by a group of individuals made up, where they try to pass judgment on it. But when you are bringing the services that are supposed to be provided by the government into the issue of jungle justice, we should separate it.
I will explain.
Like in Lagos, when he spoke about we being under-equipped, what we have is what we make do. I once sat in the United Nations. What they gave to us, I discovered that despite the equipment they have, I beat some of them to their police system because they put me in the organized crime when I was in the United Nations, and I discovered that the knowledge I've gotten in Nigeria while working in the Interpol, some of them don't even have it. Then I had to pass my knowledge to them, and they start building on that. Despite what I'm saying is, the equipment we have, we still use it to prove ourselves when we get better equipment. But issue of him, the trial ordeal is, I agree to him that it's a jungle justice. A woman is brought in, the corpse of the husband is washed, and they ask her to drink it. All this vigilante group, if you remember the popular Bakassi group.
I remember Bakassi. I know someone who lived back then. I was living in Onitsha.
No, in Bakassi, they have their own cell where they put people in Anambra State. 2002, 2003, I think they are in between that period. There was issue of this Bakassi vigilante group where they terrorize people in Anambra, then they enter inside Onitsha market, they have their own cell where they do their trials and convict people and give them fine. Without the recourse to the Nigerian police force, which made some people to go out of, some of them went out of it. Then the OPC in Lagos also have their own system of the CP, the Commissioner of Police decided that they must be documented. Some OPC, you will see them, they will arrest people and they will torture them, want them to confess to the crime they have not committed, and you will see all the beatings when they are.
A lot of them would give the excuse that they will probably employ vigilantes because they feel the police is perhaps inept, the police is not equipped enough to protect them. That's the popular saying out there. So a lot of them would raise the question, when this is happening, when the Alofo is happening, or when the guy who was lynched at Ikorodu Road and then it was found out that he was even the wrong person. And so many other incidences when you go online that the police arrived late. So most of them would say that's why they had to help themselves. Where was the police when all this is happening?
In all this trend you are talking about, now you won't compare to what we have on ground now. In 5 minutes, the police are around your area. When such situations arose now, the bikers get there first. These days, and they respond to it. Neighbors are afraid of raising alarm. They don't get in touch with the police on time.
Why?
But anywhere.
Why is Lagos afraid of raising an alarm?
Some neighbors, but where are police now? In Mushi, my phone number is everywhere. Just give a call or dial 767 or 112. The police are there to respond to any situation. Get to Mushi now, in the Lagos state, generally in Lagos now. Get to anywhere there is response on time because we have put in place machinery to address this issue. The bikers are there, the vehicles are there, but the bikers, where there are bad roads, the bikers get there first before the vehicle will arrive.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Mr. Oshoma, you wanted to say something earlier.
Yeah, we can't divorce civilization from jungle justice. You can't also divorce infrastructure from civilization. Thank God the commissioner said something, and we always say, we pride our police that when they go out, they excel. Why do they excel? Because here, the ones that we relegate and neglect, appreciated outside. It's like a man who reads with candles and he came out good. If you give him air condition and all the facilities, he will come out tops. He served in the United Nations. He can also tell you that over there, everything you need to do a proper policing work are provided. It is easy. Lagos is trying. We'll talk about Lagos. Lagos is not Nigeria. If you look at the constitution, the security and welfare is the responsibility of government. And so, where welfare is lacking, and that security is 20%, the people will take laws into their hands. And it becomes to your tent, O Israel. We want to provide it for ourselves. And so that's why we need to tell ourselves the truth. How did we get here? Until we appreciate the fact that what we have is not what should be, we will not be able to solve the problem. We talked about Lagos. Yes, you have bikes everywhere now. It's easy for the bikes to get there also. You have situations. I can also show you on the internet situations where you see policemen in other states with native Babariga with a gun. How do you differentiate such a man from, So government needs to really do something about proper policing.
Sorry, hold on, please. ACP, is that right for you to have? Because quite frankly, I've seen a couple of policemen who would wear mufti and then they're carrying guns.
It depends on what you are talking about, what you are trying to describe as mufti.
Mufti is like not even the black t-shirt. I know the black t-shirt where you have the police tag on it.
Yeah.
They're not wearing it. It's like normal top and jean. And they're carrying gun and shining, flashing the torchlight.
No, that is not allowed. And the IG is addressing that. Any policeman seen dressed in that form is being arrested.
Okay.
You cannot go scot-free for that.
right, so Mr. Oshoma, we will get back to you. You asked the question, how did we get here? And we'll tackle that question after the break. This is the Inside Out Show. Please stay with us. We will be right back.
Coming up next on the show.
A lot of people are dropping out of school because education is becoming very expensive. And so what is available to them is what you have in the jungle.
When it comes to they are rolling the tire, they are bringing the tire to you and they want to burn you. You are not thinking of the police or the patrol or the legislation or any Latin word.
And these same witnesses will come back and cry to the society that the people they arrested, handed over to the police, are back in the society. Meanwhile, they were the one that refused to go and testify in court.
Okay. Welcome back. It's the Inside Out Show, and we're discussing jungle justice. We're actually in the middle of the conversation. Charles, I'll get back to you in a minute about the comments. But Mr. Oshoma, before we went on a break, you asked the question, how did we get here, where it's just completely okay to assault the next person or take away somebody's life without even waiting for the proper justice system or for the executive to... How did we get here?
Yeah. Any society that fails to address its education, its legal system, and its policing system will always find itself where we are. Your education, because I talked about literacy, and then you look at our court system also. You take a matter to court for the next 10 years, you're still waiting for justice to be served. And so that in some cases, some of the witnesses dies, or the family we lost hope.
So that's the case of justice delayed,
yes.
Justice denied.
Yeah. And then also the policing. We should not shy away from the fact that we have reduced our police to garbage in, garbage out. Any society that reduces its police to what we have will have the kind of system that you have, where people will not have 80% hope in the policing structure.
Could you describe our police system?
Yes. If I give you a form now to join the Nigerian police, will you join?
I don't have the guts to.
That's what I'm saying. You see, I applied to join the Metropolitan Police. I was given a form as high as this. But here, I didn't even want to join the police because I have had cost to donate generators to police stations. You go to a police station, police buy uniforms, they buy statement forms, they don't have impressed, you see small lockers to keep properties. It is not what you want to have as a police. And so in a structure, I'm not holding brief for the police, but when you I've seen policing, and I compare with what we have here. So why will a man join the police and yet behave the way he behaves? Because for him, it is a last resort. No hope. So this one is available. And then he gets there. There were times in this country where police were earning 25,000 naira salary. And then he has 4 children. He lives in the barracks, 2 rooms. And so he gets back home. His children will go to the school that our children are going to. So with all of this put together, he has a case to investigate. He's not interested in the matter. He's more interested in what comes to his table. And so when that case is delayed, the victim or the complainant who is waiting is gradually losing hope in, look, next time I would employ OPC instead. You get a lawyer to handle a matter for you. The matter gets to court. The first day it is adjourned. The next day the court is not sitting. The third day the lawyer is sick. He wrote a letter to court. And they couple with the illiteracy that you have. A lot of people are dropping out of school because education is becoming very expensive. And so what is available to them is what you have in the jungle. And so that's why for all of us, we need to speak up. We need to do something. We need to educate. And then no matter how bad it is, it behoves on us to make it right.
ACP, I would really like you to address what he just said, because the truth is, the popular saying is that the police is your friend. Did you hear that? So it's not just that I'm saying it. That is a popular mindset out there. A lot of people disagree. They feel that the police is against them. I know we keep trying to address this issue, but somehow it hasn't really gotten home that the police is actually your friend. I would like you to address what he said, starting with, is joining the police really a last resort for some people?
Joining police now seems to be a last resort for some people because of the unemployment rate in the country.
Okay.
When I joined the Nigerian police, we started with 198 naira.
As your salary?
As a salary. It got to 220. Then there was a time it was increased to 525 naira.
Sorry, how far back was this, please?
So during this period, the economy was good.
How does that affect the police and their ability to deliver when it comes to this jungle justice, for them to be able to stop it? Because most of the times, before the police gets to the area, the justice, the victims have been lynched or burnt or done whatever they want to do to them.
In that aspect, if the
or maybe even a situation that a lot of us don't know about, where a woman is probably told to drink your husband's water, shower cups, whatever they call it. You know, situations like that. I've never seen the police around when a woman is being told to do that. And I'm from Anambra State. That happens.
Thank God you are from Anambra. You know the way you people behave in Anambra. You are just laughing about it. Me, I'm part of Anambra. My mom is from Anambra. And I know the culture. I know what is prevalent in Anambra.
In most cases, you find out that even the educated ones in the family will fold their hands and be onlookers and say it is tradition. We refuse to lend a voice to injustice.
There's a mistake we are making here. Those that are even crying for justice, are they towing the line of justice? You report a case to the police. The police investigated the case, conclude investigation, and they decided the case must go to court. It happens in Itire recently. Now the case is charged to court. This complainant refused to go to court to testify. Most of them will not go to court to testify. These people you have taken to court, the judge, the magistrate, will set them free and they will be back to the society.
Because there are no witnesses testifying.
There are no witnesses testifying. Then they will now bring the blame on the police or the magistrate. I'm not saying that is all what happens, because it happens in some instances. That's what I'm saying. Because we will get to a situation where people will say, yes, the same criminals that were arrested are found back in the society. The pace we go through, finding those suspects, those alleged, and we charge to court, concluded in our investigation that actually this man has a case to answer, charged to court. The witnesses you provide to the court, you list in your case, is refuse to go to court. And these same witnesses will come back and cry to the society that the people they arrested, handed over to the police, are back in the society. Meanwhile, they were the ones that refused to go and testify in court. This is what is backfiring on the society now.
Okay. All right, let me hear you, Damilare Dynamite.
I would like to say that in as much as the police is integral in this discussion, we should talk to ourselves too. Before the police comes, before the patrol team comes, what do we do about it? When you see people beating somebody without a fair hearing, what do we do about it?
Yeah, we're getting to that, but now that you've raised it, let's talk about it.
Because everybody is, for me, I'll be honest with you guys, I think we're just pushing blames. If we talk to ourselves, we need to sensitize ourselves. We need to talk, we need to have more discussions like this. Because when it comes to, they are rolling the tire, they are bringing the tire to you and they want to burn you, you are not thinking of the police or the patrol or the legislation or any Latin word. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about something is happening and we need to address it. I've been listening, but I feel like we are not looking at the issue itself. The issue is we are killing ourselves by ourselves. Because before the police gets there, this guy is a thief. And everybody wants to kill him, and you are there. and you might have heard that, okay, they've killed somebody mistakenly in Isolo. Let's give this guy a chance. And you are there and you see them and you watch from the beginning to the end till they start cutting it. And all what we do is we just bring out our phones. And that is all we do. So what happens before the police comes? That is what we should address. Or one of the things we should address.
Coming up next on the show.
The lady stole pepper and then they had to insert pepper into her genitals. And that was just horrible. Why would anybody do that?
The CDAs, the community trying to police themselves, we've introduced it, where each street is to be manned by security.
We also need to learn to stand up for one another. It's always easy for you to say, oh, let me look for a human rights lawyer. You are a human rights person.
I completely agree. Because, you know, part of the situation, I'll get to you, Mr. Shoma, part of the situation is that the people who are actually, the mobs who are carrying out this atrocity, most times you see that this person probably stole 100 naira from somebody else. Or probably you're a bus conductor and then someone jumped your bus and you're owing the person balance of 300 naira and you're using the idea to scope. So the person would drop and then you retain that money. That is stealing. So why would you want to kill another person because you heard that they stole pepper? There was one that happened at Toshori sometime in 2014 or 15 that the lady stole pepper and then they had to insert pepper into her genitals, and that was thank you, and that was just horrible. Why would anybody do that? Let me hear you, Mr. Shoma.
I did say that. Look,
I think maybe in that Ejigbo case, are you aware that some of the victim witnesses refused to come to court?
Why do we get that? Why are people refusing to talk?
Let's pigeonhole these issues so we'll be able to find solutions to it. I said we are all to blame in all of this. Those that, you know, are onlookers. We are all victims. We need, like I said, to educate ourselves. And then we also need to learn to stand up for one another. It's always easy for you to say, oh, let me look for a human rights lawyer. You are a human rights person. That area boy, that Igbo smoker, who you see, people are gathered around and they want to put tire on his head. And you say, no. Let's calm down. Let's, be human. Let's come back. Because at that point in time, a lot of us, our humanity takes flights. And so you need that lone voice to say, wait a minute, let's be human here. What happened? Let's calm down. We can resolve this. Because in some cases, the policeman comes, he doesn't even have a gun, and they respect him. You can be that policeman.
The only reason I'm alive today is because of an area boy. Okay. Because when they started beating me, somebody said something that was like profound. He said, somebody said, let's call police. Somebody said, don't call police because if they come, he said it in Yoruba that they will release him in the morning tomorrow. That this is how these thieves behave. But still one area boy went and he called the police. So let's look at ourselves and trust, at least give the police a chance. Because most of these people that they are saying they will release him tomorrow, do you know if the guy wasn't even involved in the robbery? That is why they released him.
There is lack of trust in the system. I report a matter. It's investigated. And at the end of the day, the person is charged to court. And I am threatened daily. If we see you there. And then, who protects me?
Who protects me? ACP. Let's quickly hand that over.
The police
who
will protect their witnesses. I give you this. You see, the system where the IG, the Inspector General of Police, is trying to imbibe now into the policing system is what we know as community policing. That is policing the community by the community. A system whereby your next door neighbor is also a police officer. He may be a civilian. It happens in Europe, but we need to imbibe it here. When you see your neighbor doing some things that is not right,
suspicious,
suspicious, send a text, a message to the police. They will investigate such a person. Get to the root. Then when you were speaking in the earlier part of the program, you spoke about the CDAs, the community trying to police themselves. We've introduced it, where each street is to be manned by security.
Isn't that security, some people would opt for vigilantes?
Yes, that's vigilante we are talking about now.
Okay.
Yes, where you have each street having somebody as a community officer.
But these vigilantes, they've helped out in a couple of jungle justices being carried out.
That is why they are being screened now, being profiled by the police. Okay. Anyone the community is going to be employed will be profiled by the police. And if he's found to have committed any crime before, the police will advise the community, you cannot employ this. Sometimes we advise them they should go to the security companies and employ people that will be on the street. This CDS chairman will work with these guys and they will give us information. Where the community is policing the community, it's easier for every one of us to participate in the policing of the community. Any slight issue of jungle justice trying to met out jungle justice to anybody, it will get to the police easily and we'll get there.
You know, on that note, we will take a break. When we come back, the discussion on the Inside Out show continues. We're discussing jungle justice. See you after the break, and then we'll have our comments and audience questions. Be right back.
Coming up next on the show.
Most of the time, when the police get there, all they do is just save that person. Why don't they focus on saving the person and arresting everybody?
If a policeman with a gun arrests you at night, don't quote law.
I want you to tell the audience here, what is the meaning of that police is your friend? Just expatiate more. What is the meaning?
If you are anywhere on the road and your fuel finishes, approach any of the RRS, they are bound to give you 5 liters to take you to your next spot.
Okay, welcome back. This is still the Inside Out show, and we're still discussing the topic jungle justice. Now, if you haven't done that already, please go over to our social media sites. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, the Inside Out show, and just post your comments. We have an update there, so post your comments, and we'll see if Charles can just slide that through. Charles, do we have comments?
Yes, we do. We do have comments. Before I read the comments, I want to say this is something I'm really passionate about. We should work together, because I have a story that I will tell once I'm done reading this comments.
Okay.
Solomon Johnson says, the reason why some Nigerians take laws into their hands is because they are disgruntled with the judicial system and the law enforcement agents. The police is a household name when it comes to receiving bribe from criminals, while our judicial system is a matter of a criminal having so many senior advocates of Nigeria who can twist the law from its natural course. Another person says, Joker says, now the one way our hand reach with a bit. Certain Josh Chooks says it's for a fact deduced that we have 2 types of thieves, the rich thieves who steal with their pen and the poor thieves who steal just to survive. Well, the answer is simple. There are laws and more money that protects the rich thieves from being harmed, security convoys, big houses, while the poor thieves, ... well, you know the rest. The story I would like to tell is I had to travel home one time to visit my mom, and I got to my state, left the airport, drive on my way to the house. I had to stop to get something. And then thank God I stopped. And then when I stopped, I realized there was a mob. And then I had to approach the scene. And you will be shocked what I saw. Now a lot of people were trying to lynch this young man. And I started asking questions, what's going on? Why is this happening? And like he said, people were taking pictures and making videos. I feel it's stupid. A certain girl was on Snapchat. I felt like breaking her phone at the time. And then I started asking questions. Nobody there said they had contacted the police. Now, as much as we think the police has a role to play, we also have to realize that we have a role to play as well. So what did I do? I started making calls. I never had the police on speed dial at the time, but I realized I had to. I made calls, and then police came, and that situation was salvaged. What am I saying? I'm saying in essence that yes, the police will play their parts, but it's important that we play our parts as well.
I think another thing we can do is to criminalize jungle justice.
It is a criminal
It is a criminal offense.
I think there's an act.
That's why it gets
It's
sentenced.
a criminal
Against jungle
offense.
justice.
Yeah, it's a
It
criminal
is.
offense.
It
I
is.
think
Just, I
because-
don't think you actually have a valid point. As much as it is, we that are educated, we know. But a lot of people out there don't even know it is a criminal offense.
They know that it's a criminal offense.
They do?
You lay your hand on somebody, you know it's an offense to beat up that person, even if it's a thief. Your colleague narrated a story that somebody who knows that that is an offense was on Snapchat. The rest were taking photographs to post. I want to be the first to break the story rather than stop what is happening. Because as human beings, do I see my next door neighbor as a human being that I should protect?
Worth protecting.
That's it.
The reason
Quickly,
I'm saying I don't think there's a law against this jungle justice is most of the time when the police get there, all they do is just save that person. Why don't they focus on saving the person and arresting everybody?
No, but he said, ACP, you just said, correct me if I'm wrong, that you would arrest them, but then you can't sentence someone without witnesses.
We cannot sentence them. The court will sentence, will present before the court.
You present, and even the court cannot
Cannot
sentence
sentence.
them without witnesses.
Let me tell you.
So the challenge becomes,
A man
who is
traveling-
willing to talk?
A man traveling from Benin to Lagos encounters a mob in Ijebu-Ode, and then he saves the person, he calls in the police. He's a witness. He leaves Ijebu-Ode, he goes to Lagos. The matter is in court. You need him to travel from Lagos to Ijebu to testify. Who bears his costs?
Thank you very much. So now, questions, comments.
Okay, I really don't want to go into details, but sir, I'm speaking to the commissioner. The police is trying, but you guys really need to do more. Because this happened to me personally. My brother was involved with this jungle justice thing, just right in front of our gate. I personally called the police, and they didn't show up until an hour 30 minutes later. After everything must have died, and that's when they showed up and they were now asking questions, what happened? Where is the person? What now this and that? People really need to work more on response, because it didn't work. It really happened to me personally, and it just happened 3 weeks ago, not quite long.
My question is to the ACP. I want you to tell the audience here, what is the meaning of that police is your friend? Just expatiate more. What is the meaning? Thank you so much.
Police will always be your friend because you cannot have an issue now in your area and you call a thug to come and assist. The police will always be there for you. You see, the police, as you are looking at it, is also a medical doctor to give you first aid. Is a lawyer, is an engineer to fix your cars. Even when the system we have introduced in Lagos now, the RRS, they have extra fuel in your vehicle. If you are on anywhere on the road and your fuel finishes, approach any of the RRS, they are bound to give you 5 liters to take you to your next point. It's provided for.
That's good news, isn't it?
The way we have gone now, this is the new model the IG has introduced.
But this is just in Lagos State, so
not only in Lagos.
It's
The
not-
Lagos has started, but the IG has ensured and given directive that all patrol vehicles must be of assistance to
Okay.
any citizen in need.
Okay. Great. That's a major development.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's have your comments.
Do we see the possibility of this jungle justice being stopped in Nigeria?
Okay.
Yes. Because if you that is supposed to report gives the report, it will be the police will react, not you bringing your phone to take a snapshot or video so that you can post on Facebook.
In the case of wanderers or kidnappers and the citizens get to know they have hideouts or they are being caught and they take laws into their hands, can they be blamed for their actions?
They will be blamed.
They will be blamed.
You know, because what you do, you know their hideouts. You volunteer the information, you can decide to even
follow the
police to ensure that these people are caught red-handed.
Yes.
Even in some cases, let me even ask a very simple question. That it remains allegation. What if your allegation is not correct?
What happens to me in a situation where I was coming back from work around 10 p.m. around my area? The police had to arrest me. They were like, you have to follow us to the station. Then I showed them my ID card. They said no. So I got to the police station. They said, okay, call somebody from the house to come and bail you out. And the policemen were like, I have to pay 5,000 naira to bail myself. And they said bail is free. In that situation, I had no option but to pay.
Okay.
Then was I wrong or the police was wrong?
Both of you are wrong. He doesn't have right to demand and you don't have right to give. Why I'm saying this is you are dealing with them based on you are arrested, maybe doing the joint raid, the police is carrying out a raid and you are arrested. My sister, what offense have you committed? You are to explain yourself, I'm coming from my place of work. And if they insisted that they want to detain you, let them realize that they should know that you have right to enforce your rights. Even if you live here, you can sue them for wrongful detention. But most Nigerians don't know this.
We don't know our
Quickly,
rights.
Most of you don't know this.
I disagree with Honorable
Straight to the
Commissioner.
point, please.
I disagree.
See, this is what we are saying. If you are not ready to sacrifice for we to get things right in this country, we will continue to be perpetual slave.
Let me quickly say
in 3
this.
sentences,
Yes,
please.
yes. I disagree because as a lady, we've heard of cases where people, in some cases, it is easy at this level. If you're dealing with a superior officer, it is easy to communicate at night to insist on your rights. As a lawyer, a police commissioner told me, look, if a policeman with a gun arrests you at night, don't quote law.
I disagree.
Be practical. Some of them are reeking of alcohol. Yes. That man, in some cases, we've heard of people who were killed like that.
Wait, the example she is giving
brings
now.
us to
Wait.
brutality.
The
Yes.
example she is giving now, she has gotten to the station. Let me tell you, if you don't know, in every police station you get to, there's always a superior police officer on duty, which is referred to as the incident duty officer. Yes, tell them you are getting to the station. The moment you get to the station, they put you at the counter. Insist, I want to see the incident duty officer. If it's after 12 midnight, the DPO may not be there, the DCO may not be there, but there will always be an officer on duty in this police station. All over the country, that is the practice. And if the officer, you will see the name, you will see the tag. If the officer refuses to listen to you, in the morning, you come back. Even if they collect money from you, I bet you, the moment they refund the money, there's what we call a room trial for the junior officer. They go through it. And many have been dismissed, money have been reduced. When we are ready to make the sacrifice, we will make the country better.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, we can't take any more comments. Your final comment on jungle justice,
at that point, I am in a position.
Your final comment on jungle justice.
Yes. At that point, I'm not in a position to begin to bargain. That's where I was going to. You give, and then you can always come back to say, this was what happened to me, and I gave. But to quote law at that time, you do on your own.
Okay.
You cannot. I'm not saying quote law.
All right, Damilare, let me get your final words, please.
My final comment on jungle justice is we cannot wait for some people to stop this for us. We should take it upon ourselves, and instead of you to snap and just video and put it online, social media, let people know about it. We have created an hashtag, say no to jungle justice, and let us discuss about it, let us educate ourselves. When we start to make discussions like this, we'll start to enlighten ourselves and we'll start to make changes with ourselves and in the society.
ACP, your final comment.
Sometimes we make things look so difficult in the society called Nigeria. But there are steps we need to take. So if somebody is insulting you, you keep quiet, you don't argue. Follow them slowly like a mugun. When you get into the station with them, just ensure you get into this police station environment with them. Insist you want to see the incident duty officer. Then on the issue of jungle justice, let every Nigerian know that this, a fellow Nigerian, even if it's somebody, a human being, has a right to live. You don't have right to take the life of any other person, another person. That is what the law says.
Thank you very much. Charles, more comments?
He said it all. Hashtag say no to jungle justice. And it's also important for Nigerians to research and, study. It's important that we know our rights and stand by them.
Okay. I think I would personally say that you're right. Everybody, every single human being has the right to life. Jungle justice, we should not even be talking about it. And I hope with our discussion today, we've been able to educate a lot of you, most especially people who still, to a certain degree, have this mindset that, yeah, if someone does something once or twice, that you can put them or beat them or kill them. No, it is just wrong. And then if you happen to find yourself in a police brutality situation or so, we're going to screen munch that your comment and put it out. So you can always screen grab that and say, hey, SCP said so. Yeah. Okay, on that note, thank you so much for being a part of today's show, the Inside Out Show. Thank you, my wonderful audience. You guys have been awesome. Thank you. Charles. Thank you, Charles, for being on the SM, and of course our social media family. Thank you so much for putting up your comments, and you who is watching at home, thank you for being a part of today's show. And not forgetting to appreciate our partners, DJ Rabu, Beauty by Omalicha, Norma Fanga, and Abel Cell Nigeria Limited. Thank you so much for partnering with us. We appreciate this. So till the next episode of the Inside Out Show, please be a part of it and keep watching the show. See you at the next episode. God bless you. Bye. Okay.